Everybody, if you're seeing this on my backup channel, then you know that if you're subscribed to my main channel, Professor Doom 2, I know that's really weird. We're watching a video on Professor Doom 1, and my main channel is Professor Doom 2. Yeah, figure it out. Anyway, YouTube has seen their way to give me a strike over a video that I posted about my presentation of court documents. That's right, legal briefings from an attorney out of the state of Michigan, and it's a lawsuit pertaining to the selection of 2020 between two candidates. You know what I'm talking about. We'll just leave it cryptic at that. So I'm working on some stuff. I am also going to be bringing you a presentation of a video that I thought was once lost. It is an interview of a widow of the Candy Crook incident dated December 14th, 2012. Well, the interview was much later than that, but you know the event that I'm talking about. Anyway, so just know that I am working on stuff for you guys, and we will get back into our normal programming once the strike is up on my main channel. Well, not up, but I have a week suspension of uploading videos. I am working on uploading onto an alternative site, and when I post controversial stuff, I will link to that alternative site so you could watch without having videos being removed from YouTube. So earlier today, it was reported that an incident took place in the wee hours of the morning in a location in Massachusetts. And as you can see, just Dabu covered this right here, so I just thought I'd use his for ease of presentation.
Boo 7. This morning we have reports of a bizarre incident that is playing out in Wakefield, Massachusetts. Local police saying that during a motor vehicle stop, several heavily armed men claiming to be from a group that does not recognize our laws exited their vehicles and fled into the wood line. This was near I-95. They're saying approximately 8 males got out of this one vehicle, fled into the woods, carrying rifles and handguns, and appeared to be contained in this wooded area adjacent from the highway. This is per the Wakefield Police Department in their statements. They say that no threats were made, but they go on to say that these men should be considered armed and dangerous. So Massachusetts State Police are also...
So my question, this is not directed towards Dabu 7, but if these guys made no threats at all, why would you be listing them as armed and dangerous? Okay, armed. But if they haven't made any threats and they didn't shoot at you when they fled from the car, why would you attribute a dangerous red flag on these individuals? But anyway, that's Dabu 7's report. So let's take a look at the latest on this right here, coming straight from Massachusetts. Here you go, everybody.
We're hoping to learn new details after nearly a dozen people are taken into custody following a heavily armed standoff on I-95 in Wakefield. This all started yesterday just before 2 in the morning, the terrifying incident forcing shelter-in-place orders in two communities.
The situation closed down both sides of the highway on the busy 4th of July weekend, too, and late last night, police released the identities of some of those suspects. Most of them are from New York. We also know 2 of the 11 men are refusing to give up their identities, and a juvenile was also arrested.
The mainstream media out of, it's actually ABC News from Massachusetts, they state that these guys are labeled as militia members. So the war on militia begins again. Or it's probably never ended, but they're going to be presenting more and more of this stuff in the news to make them appear dangerous and, well, not on our side. Really? Well, men adhere to Moorish sovereign ideology. That's what they're saying. And that if you want to read the story right here, I guess they claim to be from some Moorish sovereign nation of some kind. The situation began when, right here, troopers spotted 2 vehicles in the breakdown lane with their hazard lights activated. Well, you know what? Why even bother having the hazards on if you guys are absolutely... what they're trying to present them as anarchists, right? That doesn't sound very anarchy-like to have your hazard lights on. Anyway, I'm just saying. They were dressed in military-style uniforms with the fatigues, body armor, and yeah, none of the men had license to carry the firearms. The trooper asked the men for identification firearms licenses, and when the men said they do not have them available, and at some point during the interaction, a number of those individuals alight into the wood line with their firearms. Wakefield residents who live in the area of Parker Road and North, as well as Reading residents who live in the Parker Road and Ash Street areas, were ordered to shelter in, whatever. And let's go on to see what other stuff was being said about
Parker Road in Wakefield now back open after being closed for hours. You can see some neighbors over here. They are very excited, and really the better word for it is relieved following all that's gone on this morning. If you can take a look up at the highway right underneath here, this is the area where police descended early this morning, making sure that people stayed inside their homes, a situation that was absolutely fluid, did not know exactly how this was all going to go. Here's what neighbors said in the beginning of the morning.
I woke up to a van screaming by when they were dropping off the SWATs or whoever they were. And then this is unusual. And all of a sudden the phone rang and it was the alert. I said, well, that's a scam. I started to walk over to the guys and just stand back. So I said, well, this is real. So that was it.
There's just cops after cops after cops, and it's just like literally right next to my house.
We keep the door open till 9, 10 o'clock at night. We never happen. So it is scary.
We've been just watching from the window, and it's wild seeing all the rifles and everything out on the street.
Yeah. Now that you hear it's over?
Very happy. It's a safe neighborhood, so it was unusual for sure.
In some ways, it's funny how an event like this makes people come together. They said they were going to be having a barbecue at one of those homes a little bit later on, having no idea what was going to happen, given all the events this morning. Now relief certainly is felt here in this neighborhood.
Finally, I leave you off from a report and allegedly the words from some of the individuals, or at least one of the individuals, that were involved in this Moorish sovereign group. Let's take a look at the final report.
As soon as it was confirmed that the 11 men were arrested on the highway behind me, we were trying to find more information about them, but they were already getting out their side of the story.
They specified in the news that we're anti-government, but we're not. We're not anti-government. We're not anti-police. We're not sovereign citizens. We're not black identity extremists.
This YouTube video was made before the 11 members of the Rhode Island group were finally arrested. But who are they and where do they come from? The rise of the Moors group claimed to be based out of this building in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. A closer look at their mission statement says they want, quote, to encourage all Moorish Americans to believe in the capacity of each other to succeed in business, to encourage, support, and provide patronage in our affairs. After the arrest, 2 members of the group were taken to Leahy Hospital for what police say were for previous medical conditions, but did not elaborate. Still, why were 11 of the group standing on the highway early this morning with long guns and other weapons with no idea they were breaking state gun laws?
The police seen us on the side of the road with our guns secured. We were afraid, so we got out with our arms.
They wanted to be heard. They wanted to be a variety of not demands but requests that they just be allowed to leave the area, transit the area without any accountability. And at the end of the day, we couldn't accommodate that.
Prosecutors say the FBI is now part of this investigation, and by the time these men are arraigned on Tuesday morning, we will likely know much more about this group and why they were headed to Maine for training. Reporting live in Stoneham, I'm Ted Wayman, WCVB News Center 5.
So there you go, everybody. That is the complete report when it comes to the story of individuals that have been taken into custody in Wakefield, Massachusetts. And thanks, everybody. And stay tuned for videos and live streams that are be coming up and sharing much more with you all. Thank you.